Alastor the Radio Demon. He is an overlord in Hell, who helps the Princess of Hell, Charlie Morningstar, with the Hazbin Hotel, who wields the abilities of voodoo and powers of supernatural involving making deals for one's soul. He's known in the realms and Hell for his quick upclimb in the rank of overlords with extraordinary power, taking down previous overlords who've roamed for centuries. The powers of Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, the presence of Makima from Chainsaw Man, the personality of him from Powerpuff Girls, and a dash of 1930s era for an extra flavor, and you get yourself a demonic strawberry pimp overlord who's willing to play the long game for the payoff. In the pilot, his debut was noticing Charlie on TV announcing her happy hotel that helps rehabilitate sinners to ease their path to redemption. Catching his curiosity, he approaches Charlie for a business proposition. He wants to help Charlie on her goals to redeeming souls in need, but only for out of pure entertainment for himself.
I want to watch the scum of the world struggle to climb up the hill of betterment, to repeatedly trip and tumble down to the fiery pit of failure.
He cares not for nor believes in the pathway of redemption. All he wants is to watch them struggle and suffer. But quite notably, he is also a deal maker, always looking for a way to shift things in his favor. If not for your soul, then something that leads to a much greater reward. With now seeing him in the actual show, I can't help but feel something's a bit off with his portrayal in the actual series. Now, to some, he may seem like his usual self, dressed sharply in his red flag coloured attire, wearing his signature smile, but his characterization doesn't feel quite right. In the pilot, we already get a clear idea on who Alastor is, a man of business, always presenting an opportunity, who always seems to be a few steps ahead or knows more than he lets on. Whenever he speaks, it's as though
He's on a radio station, loud and clear with bold forward approach. From his 1930s radio host flair and his overall charm, it helps him stand out from the rest and shows what era and time he's from.
always keeping his white-toothed grin, striving in confidence, his business on the MO, purely for his entertainment, to satisfy his eternal boredom. In the actual series, he loses his 30s dialect and his charismatic charm that he had in the pilot. He basically talks like everyone else, which is a shame, because I thought it'd be interesting if each character who died from certain periods of time would have their own kind of way of speaking, especially in terms of dialect. It may even be confused by modern slang or modern language itself.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I know you're an ace in the hole.
A what now?
They can either adapt or ignore the certain progression in history, sticking to what they know, or use what's evolved to their advantage, especially for Alastor. While adapting to his new environment, he still keeps to his roots. Also, Alastor should not swear. If there's any character that shouldn't swear at all, it'd be him. A man like Alastor always keeps things professional, so he wouldn't ever stoop to that kind of level of, unprofessionalism. If anything, he would use, old slang that kind of sounds like swears, like,
"Oh, you flim-flam! Oh, you turtle slapper!"
but he would never actually swear, in my opinion. That's just me. Also, a side note, I missed the pilot's radio filter. It's still there in the show, but it's not as strong to me. I kind of miss it. What happened to him? Where did he put his filters? In the pilot, Alastor had this confident, charismatic charm to him, wearing his age. He was a man from a different time, with a dark magic at his disposal, and is very aware of his status. He truly didn't care what people thought of him. They can antagonize him, insult him, and he'll either brush it off or probably egg you on just to get you more annoyed. But, if needed, he does remind folk how truly sinister he can be. While still wearing his signature smile of his, Hell is his stage, and he is both the director and the audience. As long as he's getting what he wants, that's all that matters. Whether it be a soul, or a favor in the future for Alastor's gain, whatever that may be. But in the actual series, he's more serious, sinister, and more sensitive. Most times, Alastor would be played mostly for try-hard serious with a hint of more sensitive, just sucking away that 30s performance and charismatic charm that he once had. Now he comes across more as an angsty teenager who thinks he's the main character when really he's just a side character. But he so badly wants to be the main focus.
It's not a phase, mother! It's AM or FM!
The same guy who toyed with Alastor and make examples out of the feud to demonstrate his power without care in Hell is now having to literally remind folk who he is and egg people on about him rather than let it be organic with curiosity, craving that attention rather than keeping it to himself. Just brushing it off, but not giving too much away. Like he has to literally engoad people to be interested in him, rather than let it be organic. He's not as warmly charismatic with the cast as he was in the pilot, just lacking that jolly charm he had. Which is a shame, because that was one of his strongest suits. Especially with him being from the radio business, and for the 1930s, he's more reserved and not as charming here. No joy, like if nobody acknowledges his power or even wonders what he's been doing since his disappearance, he'll respond in some negative way. visibly showing to be affected by it, which kinda takes away from his ominous presence and threat level, especially with this line from Alastor in the actual series.
Just because you see a smile, don't think you know what's going on underneath. A smile is a valuable tool, my dear. Keeps your enemies guessing and ensures that you're the one in control.
This line feels closer to Alastor's initial portrayal, but from how he acts in the show, it comes across as inconsistent, which kinda makes it look more like a attention-seeking diva with a radio show than a cryptic overlord of pure chaos with a grinning poker face. Now, I'm all for something to get under Alastor's skin, but it has to be sparing and something significant. Like in episode 5, when Husker triggers him.
Big talk for someone who's also on a leash.
This can work, given with Husker using what he knew about Alastor to get a rise out of him, only for Alastor to give Husker a reminder of who he is.
If you ever say that again, I will tear your soul apart and broadcast your screams for every other disrespectful wretch who dares to question me.
Understood?
Lovely.
Having Alastor not be overly edgy, but just asserting his power from a rather touchy subject. Not a random insult, but from a piece of history of Alastor that even he detests and would rather not talk about. Which again, only sparingly, as the more you show an all-powerful being easily irritated, kinda loses the impact of the emotion. But if we see glimpses of his irritation from specific things that may be rooted to his character or his history, or something very connecting to him personally, that'll be more significant. And not just from small little things such as this.
Alastor?
Yes, I know. I've been absent some time. I'm sure you've all been wondering.
Not really, but welcome back in any case.
So it feels like there's been a slight shift to his character portrayal, and I think I know why. When the clips of Alastor from the pilot, and also the pilot releasing, he grew to be quite popular in the fanbase. From fan art, theories, merch, the whole shebang. And that's just from the pilot. But with that large exposure, it may have tampered with his characterization in the actual series or how people viewed him. So he goes from an all-powerful cryptic overlord to wannabe edgelord who thinks he's hot shit. Here, he's being portrayed how maybe a younger or extreme fan would interpret Alastor.
My name is Alastor, the radio tumbler sexy man, and I am the sexy bad. Fear me and my voodoo radio. Notice my filters.
Then again, there is a possibility that maybe from transitioning from the pilot to the series, the plans for him might have changed for something else in the future. Not saying that is the case, but that is a possibility. Sometimes you have plans for a character, but in the actual series it might change over time and you have a better idea in mind and how you want to interpret the character. Things can change. Things can change in the production. Now, this would require more episodes and a different series focus, but Alastor to me should always be lingering with the main crew. Observing their daily antics, helping Charlie with managing the hotel, keeping tabs on folk, and helping out once in a while with his demonic abilities. There could be some wacky shenanigans going on at the hotel, and maybe once in a while, Alastor may help out with a small little piece of magic, but not for a deal, but just a simple helping out, you know, to show he helps out, he contributes. He'd slowly win Charlie's trust with his small acts of kindness, along with sprinkles of his natural charm, keeping his hotel of entertainment afloat and interacting with some of the various subplots and characters alike. Never being shown if he's being nefarious or up to something. Always keeping his softer composure, leaving folk guessing. He doesn't have to tell you who he is, nor be overly edgy with his powers. He just has to be there. Only ever using his powers harshly when he wants to move things along, or if given permission. Not that he needs permission, but only to give the other characters the false sense of trust. Once he's cushioned his spot at Charlie's side, maybe in a more vulnerable moment, that's when the true motives slip through the cracks of his grin. Wanting Charlie's soul, wanting her power, wanting something from Lucifer or Lilith. Again, he doesn't have to go into detail, but he does try to sell the deal. From his business mindset to false assurance or even peer pressure, but you always make it seem like it's the client's choice. Because that's the aim of the business, to gain, winning the client over for a sale and earn said profit. Especially from someone like Charlie, the Princess of Hell. But all for what is the mystery? Now, I just want to clarify with these shifting portrayals of Alastor, this is not a critique to the two actors who played him. Edward Bosco voicing Alastor in the pilot, and Amir Talai who voices Alastor in the series. They both play him in their own ways, with the lines that they were given. There are plenty of moments from Edward's portrayal that I still enjoy.
It's the purest kind, my dear. Reality! true passion. The world is a stage, and the stage is a world of entertainment. I want to watch the scum of the world struggle to climb up the hill of betterment, to repeatedly trip and tumble down to the fiery pit of failure. And what can you do, my effeminate fellow?
I can suck your dick.
Ha! No.
Are you shitting me?
No, I don't think so.
You think I'm some kind of fucking clown?
Maybe.
And here's Amir's moments as Alastor that I liked.
I wouldn't try that, my dear. This face was made for radio. What? You'll have to try harder than that next time, old pal. I just took a well-earned sabbatical, nothing serious. Though it's fun to keep everyone on their toes. Mimsy!
Alastor, sweetie, dollface, so good to see you. Let's stop by, say hi, for old time's sake.
Of course, sweetheart. Everyone is welcome here.
The only one I knew who could pound whiskey like a sailor, then keep up with me on the dance floor.
Oh, quite a talent, this gal. You should have seen her in her heyday.
Hey!
Just because you see a smile, don't think you know what's going on underneath. A smile is a valuable tool, my dear. You're the one in control.
I really like them, Alastor. They let me put on roach puppet shows without booing.
An enjoyable collective to be around. I admit one could get accustomed.
I dub thee King Roach.
Oh, to understand your twisted little mind.
So, what are your thoughts on Alastor? Were you a fan of him in the pilot? Do you still like him in the actual series? Or do you get where I'm coming from? Feel free to comment your thoughts in the comment section below. This has been Drew, those are my views, and I bid you adieu.